And on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is attempting suicide and 1 is just depressed, listless, and fatigued, I was a 3. My parents, my family, my church never knew that I was depressed and minimally suicidal. They don't know. I told my parents 2 months ago that from 18 to 22, I was so depressed and mildly suicidal, they had no clue. And my mother made it seem like it was my fault. I mean, it's not your fault if you're depressed. I mean, being in that environment, if someone's not depressed, I want to get to know you, because being in such a depressive environment, so subjugative, being a woman in that environment is so bad. I mean, you're 22 years old. You can't get a job. You can't get your own car. You can't get your own apartment. I mean, you're basically controlled by your parents. You're a puppet. And I was forced to go to church. I never liked going to church. Never did, never will. I have such a short attention span. And I was so smart. I have an IQ of 141. Anything 140 or above is technically a genius. I was so bored having to attend 9 weeks learning how to pray. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. But people in all the churches I was at had to have their hand held for everything. And there was no self-reflection. There was no reading the Bible. They were force-fed what they thought and how it was interpreted. There was very little growth, very little anything. I felt like I was the only kid in 2 grades of Sunday school that had a clue where any of the books of the Bible were, which is terrifying because most of the kids in that class were children of leaders in the church. And I just decided I didn't want that form of religion. I was still a Christian, very liberal, and I just didn't want that. And ever since I was 13, I started developing interests my parents did not support. I got into things like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, a lot of interesting things. And there wasn't anything bad about them. They weren't drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, illicit material. It wasn't like that. But my parents, if it wasn't Christian, the right kind of Christian, they would not accept it or support it, which is very sad. I hid my interests from 13 to 31. My parents don't really have a clue even now. And I did everything I could to be happy. And I guess my interests got me through 15 to 30. Just so depressed. Living in this kind of religion is so depressing because everything is so negative. And it's the cycle of you messed up, you try again, you mess up, you try again. It's so demeaning. And when I left home at 24, I told my parents that I needed time to decide what I wanted for my life. And my father tried to blackmail me to go to church by using his car. I shut that down. I don't want to be a part of their form of Christianity. And from 2018 to 2020,